city, rag city, rag city. What's that on that beat? Rag city chick, rag.
Welcome to Channel 5 News. I'm Quinn DeBrock, and this is Jefferson. In recent news, Russia is in need of some good old modernization. Russian romantics, such as Alexander Pushkin, dream of freeing Russia from economic backwardness, autocratic rule, and social injustice. However, the Tsar and others do not feel the same. Now here's an interview with Russian citizen Vladimir.
So, Vlad, how do you feel upon modernizing Russia?
I am totally against it. Any changes in Russia can threaten my position in society. I just want it to stay the same.
Don't you feel that Russia needs to westernize?
No, not at all. I am completely satisfied with my privileges in society.
Well, there you have it, with a landowning noble's view of modernization of Russia. Back to you, Quinn.
Recently, rumors about the newly crowned Alexander I have been surfacing. We are going to put those rumors to rest. Isn't that right, Connor?
That is correct.
Alexander has brought some liberal ideas to the table. He is going to ease censorship and has even talked to our sources about freeing the serfs.
Hey, Ovi. Hey, what's up? What are you doing in the dark, man?
Nothing, just the late night filings.
Really? Late night filing? What are you, a Russian spy or something?
Yeah, right.
All right, I'll catch you later.
See ya.
Пронесло.
Да, уж чуть не спалили.
In breaking news, Alexander I has just died and has led to an uprising being called the Decembrist Revolt. Army officers have picked up liberal ideas while fighting in Western Europe and are now demanding a constitution and other crazy reforms.
But there's a problem. The new Tsar, Nicholas I, is quickly putting an end to Decembrists. He has banned Western books that might spread liberal ideas, and he is using police spies to hunt out critics. Russians with liberal ideas are being judged to be insane and shut up in mental hospitals. Up to 150,000 others were exiled to Siberia.
Nicholas realized Russia needed to modernize, but he sees no way to change the system without angering Russian nobles. Today I'm here with Nicholas I. So Nicholas, why are you so against these Decembrists? And do you have any liberal plans for the future?
Well, I've issued a new law code and made some economic reforms. I even went as far to limit the power of the landowners over the serfs. However, I don't want to anger my fellow nobles. I know that life in Russia hasn't changed, but there isn't much I can do.
Well, thank you, Nicholas, and much luck to you in the future.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Channel 5 News. Now that Alexander II has the throne and they have lost the Crimean War, people are starting to realize our country's backwardness. This is causing liberals to demand change, and Alexander has no choice but to agree to reforms. He recently has freed the serfs.
You might think that freeing the serfs was a good thing, but it actually brought problems. The serfs actually have to buy the land they worked on, and many are too poor to afford that. Also, the lands aren't fit to support families. The serfs are still poor and unsatisfied.
But there is a positive coming from this. It is leading to other reforms. In fact, Alexander set up local governments, zemstvos, legal reforms, eased censorship, limited brutal discipline, and he is encouraging the growth of industry.
Let's see how the people feel about these reforms.
How do you feel about Alexander's attempts to reform Russia?
I really don't think anyone is satisfied.
Really? It seems that he's really trying.
Well, he freed the peasants, but they have no land. The liberals still want a constitution, and radicals even want more revolutionary changes. There's still much to be done.
Well, I hope everything turns out okay.
Thank you so much.
Nikolai, my toe is so cold. I cannot feel it.
Andrei, look at my ear. It's even colder.
You're like two small children. I'm so cold, I'm frozen to the ground. That is really cold. Ice cold.
Hello and welcome back to Channel 5 News. I just retrieved info that Alexander II has been killed in a terrorist attack while in his harem. Russia is going through some serious problems. Now Alexander III will take the throne.
Let's watch the video of this tragic event.
Oh my god, Alexander II just died.
Welcome back to Channel 5 News. Alexander III is very angry about his father's assassination. In response, he brought back the harsh methods of Nicholas I. He increased the power of the secret police, restored strict censorship, and exiled many to Siberia. Oliver?
He also started a program of Russification to suppress the non-Russian people in the empire. He wanted one language, Russian, and one church, Russian Orthodox Church. And he prosecuted many of the cultures that weren't Russian. He also targeted Jews and Muslims, and that led to violent attacks on the Jews.
However, under Alexander III and Nicholas II, Russia finally entered the Industrial Age. Loans from France helped build the Trans-Siberian Railroad, which stretches 5,000 miles from European Russia to the Pacific Ocean.
Industrializing Russia came with problems, though. Government officials and business leaders encouraged economic growth, but nobles and peasants opposed it. Industrialization also created social problems. Peasants and workers in factories faced long hours with low pay. Also, in slums, there was much poverty and a lot of disease.
With Nicholas II in charge, people are starting to let out their discontent formed by years of oppression. Let's take a look. What are your feelings towards Nicholas II?
He needs to understand our sufferings. Us workers need shorter hours and better wages. The way it is now is intolerable.
Do you plan on doing anything about it?
We are going to march through the city of St. Petersburg towards the Tsar's Winter Palace, bringing a petition stating our issues.
Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
As you may have heard, the Tsar has feared these marches and fled the palace and called in soldiers. As the people got to the palace, shots were fired and hundreds were killed. The people of Russia have lost all faith in the Tsar.
After Bloody Sunday, everything seemed to be going bad in Russia.
Peasants were revolting, there were strikes all over, terrorists were killing officials, and workers were taking over local governments. But now Nicholas is bringing some reform.
He has promised freedom of person, conscience, speech, assembly, and union, and has also agreed to an elected national legislator. However, Nicholas has hired a prime minister who has killed many and arrested many to restore order. People are starting to mock the Tsar's promises and lose faith in him.
Russia still remains an autocracy, with peasant and worker discontent.